Hi, my name is Sonia, and this is a final project for the course Understanding the Brain. I want to show the different parts involved in working memory in contrast to implicit memories. So I have been learning the UC for a year now, and I will demonstrate how working memory works. So I'm going to do a simple exercise. And right here, I'm using my visual cortex in the occipital lobe. I'm using my sensory cortex, which is in the parietal lobe. And I'm also using the auditory cortex, which is in the temporal lobe. And all these cortices are sending information to my hypothalamus because I'm using the working memory. Since this exercise is new for me, well, it's not new, but I'm not an expert. Pretty simple, but watch what happens when I remove input from, for example, the visual cortex. It's definitely harder. The difference is that since I closed my eyes, I remove all the input from the visual cortex, and right now, since this is not stored, this skill is not still stored as an implicit memory, my hypothalamus still needs all the inputs from all the cortices I mentioned before. That's why my performance goes to hell, because I'm removing very vital information. I think because I'm a visual learner, I need to see what I'm doing. If you remove that part, then that would be awful. If I remove the input from the auditory cortex, it wouldn't be so bad because I would still be looking at it. So it's also important to know what kind of learner you are and what's your learning style. So this exercise, as simple as it looks, it's still not stored as an implicit memory. It's still a working memory. I'm still using my working memory. It's not still stored. It's something that seemed much harder. All right. So I've been practicing this for a long time now, and now I can afford to look away because this particular skill, the creep from Radiohead, is now stored as an implicit memory. And right now I am using my basal ganglia and my cerebellum because since I have been practicing it a lot, it's now this stored in these parts of the brain, the basal ganglia and the cerebellum, as an implicit memory. So I don't need to look. Well, it's supposed to go better. So that's what's happening here in the first exercise in contrast to the second exercise. This course has been very beneficial to me because I am not only a UCU learner, I'm also an English teacher, and it has helped me a lot understanding the neurological process that my students and I are going through when learning a new skill. It has helped me understand that some exercises should be devoted to the hypothalamus, and some other exercises should be devoted to the cerebellum and basal ganglia. It has also helped me understand that when I'm performing, I understand what parts are contributing to what, and if I'm failing at something, if I'm not being very good at something, then I am able to understand and call out exactly what part is not working properly or needs more training, and I can design my practice based on these things, of course. It has also made me understand that for example, if I, regarding my students, really, like school places a lot of emphasis on the skills of the left hemisphere when it comes to language, like vocabulary and correct pronunciation and grammar. And with this course, I also understood that the right hemisphere also has an equally important, if not more important, function and importance in the speaking abilities of people and listening. And I understand, and I cannot understand why we do have names for the Broca area and the Wernicke in the left hemisphere, but they never give us the names of the equivalent parts of the right hemisphere. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's just as important, if not more important, prosody. So I've been telling my students that also the one of the things that contribute to their failure when trying to learn English is that they are placing a lot of emphasis and unmeasured emphasis on what the left hemisphere can do, and we are forgetting to get all the other cues and information from the equivalent areas in the right hemisphere, which is prosody, which has nothing to do with the technicalities of language, but also the we need to pay attention to the emotional, non-verbal parts of language. For the life of me, I don't understand why the equivalent or the analogous parts of the Broca's and Wernicke's areas in the right hemisphere, we are not provided a name. I've been asking my friends who are doctors, and they don't know. I mean, I'm sure it has a name, but it's just weird and it's bizarre. This also applies to playing the uke. I mean, I remember before I took this course, I was very adamant in being precise, and while that's good, it's not the whole picture. Now I understand that the right hemisphere also provides with input, and the input it provides is also equally important, if not more. And now I also try to let it participate in prosody. It's not about the precision at playing only, it's also about the feeling and what my body, that part of the brain, is in charge of, and I let it happen now. Okay, well, that has been a lot. Thank you for watching, and I hope you like this.